my friends, this is Felipe Coelho. Welcome again to the channel. Today I would like to talk about stage fright and how we can dissolve it. I love spending some time within the realm of music philosophy, and when I say that, all I mean is taking time to getting some questions answered, such as how, what, and why we play music. Sometimes by shedding some light into some darker corners of our mind, we may get some clarity that can greatly help us along the way to achieve our goals and to just be happier musicians, right? There can be a great deal of frustration within music making, especially when you are professional. We all want to deliver, we all want to be great, but we need to make sure that that desire doesn't mess things up when you play. So, okay, in order to, let me drink my mate real quick. So, there are two things in this subject. The first one is, I believe, making sure you have total control over what you play. I've had a student say to me, when I'm in my room, I play great things, and when I go out there, I can't play them anymore. Well, do you play them all the time? Can you sound great all the time? Or is it just one moment that you sound great amongst other moments that you don't? So you need to check yourself if you are in total control of what you're playing, and that means be able to perform a phrase or a piece more than once with perfection or near perfection. So in order to do that, there are a few things that can help you. First of all is letting go a little bit of the desire to be great and leaving your ego at home a little bit. Since the time you choose the repertoire of your performance, you need to choose something that you have total control over. This was said to me by a younger guy who was able to win a competition that I actually had fourth place. It was like a classical guitar competition. It wasn't quite the place for me. But this guy said to me that he chooses to perform things that he knows he has total control over. I've made the mistake before of wanting to challenge myself in a repertoire choice, and by the time of the performance, it was still challenging for me. And of course, when it comes time to perform, the light is on, the crowd is there, there's going to be more psychological pressure. And if something is not totally within your control, you probably will mess it up. And it might even snowball on you and make you have a worse performance than your true capacity. So, okay, make sure you have total control over that. Here's one of the ways that you can dissolve the stage fear and make sure you have control over a piece. Is before you go on stage, advice number one, try to perform that piece for just one or two people. For example, have your friend or your wife or your best friend or your parents, somebody close to you who's just around, and say to them, hey, I would like to play you a piece, and then perform for them. See if you can grab their attention. See if you feel nervous. Use that time to see what are really the critical points of the performance that you need to work on. And if you do that 2 or 3 times, meaning play just to 1 or 2 people, you will definitely dissolve the possibility of having stage fright. By the time you go to the real performance, you have broken the ice. So that's one of the greatest things you can do. Don't ever attempt to play something difficult and just keep to yourself in your room and to your, say, your teacher or whoever. Don't just keep it to yourself. Make sure you break the ice by performing to a less frightening crowd or a small group of people. And now the second point, I believe that stage fright happens because of the pressure that we put upon ourselves. The desire to be great. That desire can be really good. Of course, it's something that is your fuel that moves you and makes you practice early in the morning. But also that desire, if it's a little bit over, it might burn you, right? Because when you get to the point of the performance and you see that you're not the best musician in the world, it may become very, very frustrating, and that frustration may get you down, may get your self-confidence down. And self-confidence is something that is your friend. You need to have it with you in order to be able to perform well. You gotta be self-confident that you know what you're doing and you can deliver a great piece. It is when we have control that we can have self-confidence, and that's when you also tap into higher parts of your mind during a performance. When you have self-confidence, I believe you can deliver a better show add more dynamics and more feeling to your performance. Now, how do we do that? So basically, instead of keeping the mindset to be the greatest that you can, I tend to shift my mindset on the day of a performance. And a few hours before going on stage, what I begin saying to myself is, there's nothing from this point on that I can do that can make my performance greater. So from now on, I try to invest mentally, psychologically into my just well-being and self-acceptance. These are two things that are going to be your friends when it's time to perform. Self-acceptance means you're just going to accept the level that you're presently in. It doesn't mean that you can't be better in the future. You can still be better in the future. But now you are where you are, and you need to accept that. Things are what they are. So if you go out there and you might make a few mistakes, don't let them snowball on you and become a monster of fear, right? So make sure that you just go out there with the mentality of wanting to have a good time. So that's what I tell myself is, there's nothing I can do from this point on that's going to make me a better musician. So I'm just going to go out there and have some fun. So you need to invest in the mentality that's going to get you communicating that you're having a good time to the crowd. I've seen other musicians, including myself, before on video, and it seems like I was having a fight. I was really deeply struggling with the instrument. And it was my mom who said to me, people don't like to go out there and see you all tense fighting the guitar because they're going to feel the same tension that you are communicating. So we need to really pay attention to that. And to me, what has helped is simply telling myself that I'm there to have a good time. And if I go there and I accept myself as the level that I am on that day or that week, that month, and I simply try to have a good time, that's what I end up communicating to people. And it seems to me that the whole stage fright goes away because I'm not fighting my own level. I'm not fighting to be better than I can at that moment. I'm just accepting that presently that is my level and music still needs to be fun. So I keep telling myself, make sure to have a good time and give people a good time. So those are the two main points that are going to eliminate your stage fright. Make sure you have total control over what you're playing and dissolve the fear by performing before you go on stage, performing to less intimidating crowds, maybe just one person. And secondly, before you go on stage, make sure you get your mindset on just trying to have a good time and accepting the level that you're presently in. So those are the two main points that you need to focus on in order to dissolve your stage fright. I hope that this video has helped you. Stay tuned for more. Thank you for being here, and until next time, bye-bye.